Tick-tock, time to rock. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. I'm your friendly neighborhood philosopher, David Wood, and with me now is Sister Shania, who's a Somali ex-Muslim. How are you doing, Shania?
Thank you. I'm okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
And I have to notice that you have we have a Muslim friend, Truth and Courage, who's been in the comments
Yeah.
all day long, and then as soon as we go live, he disappears. That is strange, right?
Wow. He
So
will come back.
we have our Muslim friend as he's in the comments section all day. As soon as we go live, he says bye, guys, like he doesn't want to hear it. That's strange. Anyway, now Shania, I basically want to dedicate this live stream to letting you tell your story. I do have a couple of quick questions for people who might not be familiar with Somalia and the situation there. But before we do that, you sent me a picture.
Yeah.
You sent me a picture from, what'd you say, 2016? Is that when this video was?
Yes. 16. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, several years ago, so this was 2016, I posted a
Yeah.
video where I just took screenshots of some ex-Muslims, Muslims who were leaving Islam, Muslims who were converting to Christianity. And here's one that you sent me. This was the last comment in that first video. I've done several episodes of leaving Islam where I show several, mainly screenshots, sometimes emails of people who are leaving Islam. And this one says, when I came to Sweden 23 years ago, I was a Muslim from Somalia, and now, praise the Lord, I am Christian, leading Somalis to Christ. David Wood, your teaching helped my husband to leave Islam and coming to Christ. May God bless you and your beautiful family in Jesus' name. And I said, great to hear, sister. God bless you and your husband. So that was 2016, but you pointed out that that's actually you there.
Yes, it is me. I still have that picture. My somewhere in my profile. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Again, couple quick questions about Somalia. So Somalia is East Africa, and I don't know the most recent statistics, but I remember back in the day, Somalia had one of the highest percentages of Muslims in the world. I think it was like 99.9 or 99.8% Muslim population. Is that correct? Is that how it seemed when you're growing up?
They even call themselves 100% Muslim. So that's where I come from, and they are Sunni even. They are not even. We don't even have Shia. We, mostly Sunni. Yeah, Sunni country. So, but at the moment, I don't think they are still 100% Muslim, because I'm one of them. I'm from Somalia and I'm not Muslim. I left Islam.
Amen.
So amen.
Quick question on languages. I believe there are a couple of languages in Somalia. I think they speak Arabic there, but also maybe Somali. No? So it's Somali?
No, most Somali speak only Somali language.
Okay.
But the country is Muslim, so we learn the Quran, and you have to learn and memorize in Arabic language. So our people and my people, they just follow in the Quran, but they don't know the meaning of the Quran, because the Quran is Arabic language, and we speak only Somali. We don't speak other languages.
And so on your YouTube channel, and just so everyone knows, the link to the Somali Christian TV YouTube channel is in the description box. So on that channel, you speak in Somali.
Yeah, we speak Somali, but Fridays we start English live streaming, so we can we have a lot of non-speaking Somali people who are following us and praying us and supporting us. So we started live stream. Also, there's a lot of young people who are born in the West and they speak very well English. So we want also to reach them as well. Not only them, but their parents, their mom and dad. So we want them to see us and call their mom and dad and say, come and see, these people are just like us. They are Somali and they are Christian. So we have this Somali Christian TV, in YouTube channel.
So for the English speakers, which are pretty much everyone who are watching my channel right now, they can come on to your live streams on Fridays and watch you in English.
Yes,
That's actually
7 p.m.
yeah, that's actually cool
Yeah.
because years ago when Sam Shamoun and I started doing shows on ABN, ABN was an Arabic speaking network,
Yeah.
but they just brought us on there one evening because we were in town and everything we said they were translating it into Arabic as we were on. So we'd have to pause, every sentence and then someone would translate it into
Wow.
Arabic. But then they got a lot of
Wow.
feedback saying, from lots of parents and so on who were saying, look, we speak Arabic, so we watch your show, but our kids grow up in the West and they speak English. So
Yeah.
could you do more of these English shows? And so looked like you guys are doing both. So that is awesome.
Yeah.
One more quick question about Somalia.
Yes. Yes.
Here in the West, we think of Somalia as a very war torn region. I wanted to get your input on that because I went to Ethiopia several years ago, and I was
Yeah.
talking to my Ethiopian friends there. I
Yeah.
was looking around. I was like, it was a beautiful, awesome place. And I said, in America, we think of Ethiopia as everyone's starving because those are the commercials we see for sending aid to Ethiopia. That they're starving. People there are starving. And I said
Yeah.
so. And he says, yeah. He goes, that's only certain areas though. He goes, some areas are nice and awesome places, and other areas that have starving kids. So they're showing you the starving areas because those are the people who need help. So anyway, we think of Somalia as war torn area run by lots of warlords, and then when we hear about Somalia, it's lots of Al-Shabaab terrorist attacks and
Al-Shabaab.
things like that.
Yeah.
Is that accurate, or is it what's it like there?
It is accurate, and all this started when we first had the civil war, and that was 30 years ago, something like that, 90s, in the beginning of the 90s, because before that we used to have only one president, more than 20 something years. And people used to call him dictator because he was the only one who was leading the country, and they didn't want that, and they just kicked him out. And after that, civil war started because of we have so many different tribes, and every tribe want to lead the country, and that's the clash started, and the neighbors started killing each other, and that's when the civil war started. And after that, the Al-Shabaab group come out, and Al-Shabaab group are the same like ISIS, and they take over the country, most of the country, and they Islamicize the country. But before that, when I was young, we used to live like the Western people, and I remember going to school, having a skirt, mini skirt and T-shirt, because of Somalia was colonized by Italian and English and British people and 60 something years ago. And first time we had the independent, what do you call, that was 1960 when they left. So the elder people can speak Italian if they come from Mogadishu, where I come from, the capital area, and if they come from the Somaliland, the north, they can speak some of them English. But us, like my age and younger, and we just study in Somali language in the school, and before I even reached the secondary school, civil war started. I was young at that time, and we left the country. But before that, the country was so okay. Everyone can go to. Some people, they used to go to theater, cinema. Everything was like a normal, like a Western, And there was a lot of, I hear even a lot of nightclub, and people was just living like European, Italian mostly, or British, because that's what we know many years. But everything changed when Al-Shabaab take over the country, and they made our country same like in Afghanistan. And everyone has to dress the big jilbab. All the women has to cover head to toe, and men start having a beard and just dressing like an Arab, Because of Somalis as well, they think they are Arab. They don't think they are African. That's the problem, because they are Muslim. They believe they are Arab.
Yeah, and what you were just saying there sounds very similar to what I hear from Iranian ex-Muslims and again people in as you mentioned, Afghanistan, where a few decades ago, they were living basically like Westerners. The way they
Yeah,
the way they dressed, the way the way the opportunities that were available to women, and then once there was a religious crackdown, then
yeah,
things changed. And
yeah,
there was actually a reason for that. That for 13 centuries, Islam spread and until and always had an empire right up until the Ottoman Empire. And then
yeah,
once the Ottoman Empire was crushed and the caliphate fell,
yeah, yeah,
lots of Muslims just thought, well, they won. They must be stronger than us, so we should do things that way. And
yeah,
but notice there are two possible conclusions to draw. If you're the Ottoman Empire and you lose and you get crushed, there are two conclusions to draw. And one is
yeah,
that one is just, the West is doing something right, and so we should try to be more like them. Or
yeah,
the other conclusion is Allah isn't blessing us because we're not being faithful and devout Muslims. And
yeah.
so instead of becoming more Western, we should become more Muslim, more strictly
More
Muslim.
Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
that's why you had that at first lots of Muslim countries started living more Western lives, and then you had the flip back to living more strictly devout Islamic life. Okay, so as for your story, I'm basically going to stay out of it.
no,
But
no problem.
yeah, I would like to hear. I would like to hear, and everyone here would like to hear. Everyone's tuning in. They saw the title, Somali Muslim Converts to Christianity. And you said, so hang on, you said, let's go back to this picture real quick. You said 4 years ago when I came to Sweden 23 years ago. So that was a while
Yeah,
back.
It's
It's
now it's
27 now.
almost 30.
Yeah.
Now it's maybe 28, 20, yeah, 92, yeah.
So when I came to Sweden 23 years ago, I was a Muslim from Somali.
Yeah.
And now, praise the Lord, I am Christian living. So you went to Sweden many years ago. Why don't you tell us
Many years.
how
Yeah.
things were going in Somalia, what it was like when you left, and wherever you want to go.
Yeah. So Somalia, it is beautiful country because we have big ocean. I remember when I was young, a lot of tourists, Western people, they used to come because of the beauty of the country, and also the Indian Ocean, and we have like a coast, big long coast, and people just used to come and enjoy, and everyone. We had the churches there. I don't know any Somali Christian there. I never hear or met. But we had churches and we had a lot of mosques, and people will dress like the way they want to dress. And mostly we were dressing like a Western, like I said. And no one is covering their hair. And only elder women can just cover their hair and just grow up like that way. And when I was young, my family, they were, most of the Somalis, they are Muslim Sunni. So when you are like 4 or 5 years of age, they will send to you to Quranic school. And I went to the Quranic school with my siblings, and I had a bad experience with the Quranic school, because the Quranic teacher, he wasn't, most of the Quranic teachers, they are not nice with the children. And back home in Africa, everyone can punish you and physically hit you. They all have big stick in their hand. Either if they are the teachers of the school or the teacher of Quran, doesn't matter. And anyone can hit you and there is no rights for children. And even the parents, if they want, they can hit you if you don't obey. So what happened was I went to the Quranic school, and the Quran is Arabic language. You have to memorize, you have to say in right way and do that. And every day, whenever I make mistake, my teacher used to hit me. He's like an imam, he's a sheikh. And he will hit me with a stick, and not only me, but hitting and all the other children. And one day I think 7 and 8, I think maybe 7.5, under eight of age. So he told me to memorize Quranic verses, and I said, okay, I try to memorize. And later on, when he said recite, how to say, just read it, the Quran, without seeing, and it's not paper and pen, you will write it down. We all have a big wooden board, and you will write it down, and later on you will wash, and you will use it again tomorrow and day after, so on. So he told me to read, and I had that. And when I tried to go to in front of the imam and my teacher, I could not say correct way. He wasn't happy with me, and he was so angry. And later on, he looked around. He could not find his stick. So what I had in my hand was my big wooden board I had in my hand, and he grabbed from my hand and just smashed with my head. And I remember blood covering my face. So young girl, I was so young girl. And I thought I will die because I see blood cover my face. And I cry and run to my home, and my family come, and they just helped me, take me to hospital. And what's so sad it is that Quranic teacher, no one take him to court, or no one called to police for him. He was still the Quranic teacher there, but he almost killed me that day, and thank God I survived. But seriously, before I continue all this, can I say something little bit about the Quranic teachers, what they're doing? We have fresh news. Very ugly news. My teacher, I said, he punished me, he hit me that day. But nowadays, we've seen many Somalis who come in and saying their teacher even raped them. So what I want to tell you now, and everyone who's listening, brothers and sisters, we need to pray for my country. You know what I see in the social media 2 days ago? I was crying when I see this. That was not a little child. I have seen grown-up man. He's a Quranic teacher, and he was talking about how he raped a little girl because she could not read the Quran in right way. She could not memorize. And he said, I sent all the children. I make that video. We will do subtitle, English subtitle, and we will put on our YouTube channel, Somali Christian TV. It just crushed my heart when I see how he's behaving, and he's talking in front of the camera, and other children are around him. You can hear the voice of the children. He's a Quranic teacher, and he said, this girl, she could not read this verse. And he said, I said to stay with me. And when other kids went home, he said, she had a jilbab, little girl. She's only 8 years of age. And he said, I put her jilbab on her face and I raped her. He said, he did not say I raped her. He said he had sex with her. Because he said, that's destiny of Allah. And after that, he said, because punishment, he raped. And he said, after that, I had a shower and I prayed. And he's still free, that man. Still free. So that's what's happening. Very bad situation, and I wish all the teachers, Quranic teachers, all the people who abusing and raping our children to go all to prison. But if I go back now, where I left, my teacher hit me, and he almost killed me. After that, I refused to go back to Quranic school. I said, I cannot go back. I had only fear of going there. But I was still Muslim. Praying, fasting, doing all that, but not like a religious, deep religious. And after that, civil war started, and most of us who had a ticket and can afford, we came to Europe, and we ended up in Sweden. And I got married, my husband and I, we ended up in Sweden. We have 2 kids who were born in Sweden, and the Swedish people, they welcome us, very lovely people. I love Swedish because they welcome us as a refugee. We went there, but we learned the language, Swedish language, and I studied auxiliary nurse, and I used to work care homes and also hospitals over there. But all that, we've been in Sweden like 12, 13 years before we moved to UK. But all that years, we've been living only one area, David. Mm-hmm. All the Somalis, all the Muslims, they have their own area. Mm-hmm. It seems you are under Islamic country. We have halal shops, we have Quranic school, I did not send my children to Quranic school because I had that bad memory. But young kids, they just send in the Quranic school. They have even schools in their own language, like a Somali. You know, we are living in Sweden, but they have a religious school, you know, Muslim school, something like that. And you are not mixing with the Swedish. And the Swedish people, mostly they are quiet, they are so polite, they are very lovely people, but they don't like living with the foreign people. They always move, and they have nice areas, and others have a ghetto, or what you call, I don't know how to say in English, how to pronounce. But anyway, we had our own area. But all that years, we become more religious. When we come to Europe, we become more religious. Because now we are infidel country. Now we are among Christians and others. And we grow up hating Christian and Jewish. Imagine, young age, even though my country was not a religious country on that time when I was young, but still they will teach you in front of the Quran, from the family, hate, curse to be Jewish and Christian and American. You grow up like that, hatred. They put on hatred in your heart. And when I came to Sweden, I've seen like Swedish people are very nice, very lovely, very, very polite. They welcome us. And after that, we've been in Sweden 13 years. We had a career, both of us had a good job. And few times we went holiday or abroad, I can say. And I could not say one word English, David. One word English to anyone. And everywhere I go, I need other people who help. They have to help me. And I said to Shania, my husband, I said, please, because now we are Swedish citizens. We have our children who are born in Sweden. We become Swedish citizens. We have a good job, both of us. We have some money. I said, let us move to UK and stay there a few years. And when I learn English and our kids grow up a little bit, we can come back home to Sweden, because Sweden is my home, my second home, because I've been there many, many years, and I'm Swedish myself, a Swedish citizen, I mean. So that was my plan, and I came to UK, and when I come to UK, everything changed. Everything changed. Yeah.
What? How did things change in the UK? So hang on. What? Just to be clear, you went to the UK, but you still couldn't speak English?
No, I couldn't say one word English.
And so you came to the UK and something.
2005.
2005. You came to the UK.
In the beginning, 2005. Yeah.
Couldn't speak English. You had
Muslim.
Your husband, your kids came to the UK, and so was. When you came to the UK, was it also sort of similar in that you went to an area and it was all Muslims, or?
No, and you know, in the UK as well, they have an area with all Muslims. But luckily, and what happened now, I can see it's God's protection for us. We sent someone we knew in the UK, and we sent the money to him and said, please, can you rent house for us? And he found a house in the midst of British people. No Somalis, no Muslim people. And my kids, they used to go to school. They were I think they were also maybe few black people, mostly like British people, British area. And we just ended up that place, coming from Sweden, and all been living with the Somalis and with the relative and with our family, mostly there in Sweden, and now coming to new country, not knowing the language, and we are like a neighbor with the British people, and the kids started school, and my husband and I, we bought a taxi, and Sheila started driving taxi, and just to take care of our family, because that's you're supposed to do that for the financial way. And I started going to classes just to listen and speak in English with other nations, many of Asian people who've been in the UK 30, 20 years, Pakistani, other countries, other nations who've been in the country 20 years, 30 years, but they don't say one word English. They don't even speak the language. Why? Because they have their own area. They're still living with their community, you know. They have their own shops. They have their own everything. They don't need and to be involved with the British. That's what I think they're doing.
One second, Shania.
Yes.
Already starting here. We have a comment saying she is lying and fake actor.
Yeah, they always say that. They cannot accept we are Somali, Muslim, Sunni, left Islam.
Yeah.
So this is kind of jihad, denying our nationality, denying what. I'm just sharing my testimony. I don't hate you. I love you. As all the Muslims who are watching now, we love you so much. I love you so much. But you need to wake up and come out with this cult.
Yeah.
You need to wake up and open your eyes.
Yeah, it's funny how so many people want to say that Muslims don't leave Islam and so on when Muhammad died, they had to fight the apostate wars because so many people left Islam. Yeah. So many people who had converted left Islam because they had only converted because they were scared of Muhammad. So they left, and Abu Bakr had to go out and fight an entire war based on all these people leaving. And suddenly we get down to today, and nope, no one leaves Islam, never happens. And by the way, the Quran's been perfectly preserved too. It's these are the myths. And a comment here from Muhammad Sabul, who says, thank you, David Wood, for peeling off the scale on the eyes of many Somalis. I just watched a video from Christian Prince, YouTube of Somali guy confessed how David Wood facilitated him finding finding Jesus. I wonder if that's is he talking about Shino there or someone else? I don't know.
No. It's a new guy. He just get saved, I think, 2 weeks ago. So yeah. Christian Prince is doing also a good job. God bless him.
Yeah. All right. Well, back to your story.
Yeah. So we came to the UK. Not knowing the language, but still I'm a Muslim. I'm still praying, fasting. David, all that years, I never doubt Islam because you cannot doubt Islam. And no one will explain in the language I understand. Your videos now is helping thousands of Somali Muslims are waking up because we dub in Somali language. Thank you so much, you servant heart. But on that time, I was just blindly following Islam, praying and fasting, but my heart was so empty. What I had was only fear of Allah, because they always talk about how Allah will, when you die, will weigh your good deed and your bad deed, and you will go where you have done most. And Allah even said, they will say, most women will go to hell. So, and the hell will start from the grave. So I had only fear of Allah all the time. And when the imams talking about heaven and hell, I did not like to listen much, because of whatever they say is how much women being put to hell and how much women. It's so sad and nightmares. So, but anyway, I was just following because I didn't know any other ways. I didn't know other religion, because they will say Islam is the last, Prophet Muhammad is the last prophet, and Islam you have to follow. And when you are born as a Muslim, you have to die as a Muslim. That's what they say. You are not even allowed to ask a question or leave Islam. But anyway, what happened to me was when I came to the UK, before I even learned the language, English language, one evening I was sitting in my living room. I was chatting with my family from the internet, and my husband was working because he was a taxi driver. He used to work a lot of hours, nighttime, in the morning early. He used to go and come back like a middle of the night or so on. So what happened was, he wasn't there, and I'm chatting with my family, and someone sent me on the chat. We had many people I was chatting with a lot of Somali relatives and friends back home. I mean in Sweden, and many of my family, they are all in Europe. All my brothers and sisters, no one is in Somalia now. They're all here in Europe. And what happened was I just chatting with them, and they sent me a video. And I'm just waiting the last prayer called Isha. You have to pray 5 times per day. I'm waiting the last one. And the last one was, I think it was around summertime that time. And last to Isha was I think 11:30, something like that. And I have to sit there. Even if I'm tired, I have to wait. Because you cannot pray before, you cannot pray after. You have to wait on the time, exactly. So my husband is not home. The kids are young. They went to bed, they sleep. And I'm just chatting, and someone sent me a video clip that day. No church come to me. No one, even 13 years living in the Western country, living in the UK, in Sweden, I mean, and now moved to the UK. I never met any Christian person. No one shared the gospel with me. No, I did not know anything else than Islam. But that evening, someone sent me a video, and the video had a lot of propaganda, a lot of intro before they even start. There was intro, and the intro was so long, but there was like people reading the Quran, people are so happy, people are shouting Allahu Akbar, and they had their forehead, there's no God, but Allah, Muhammad is his prophet. And this group of people, they are Iraqi. I think there was ISIS. And after I find out it was ISIS, but in that time I was naive, I didn't know anything. But what I see, I was also rejoicing because people who sent me was like, Allahu Akbar, you have to watch this video. And I'm thinking tonight I will be like lifted up, maybe a spiritual way, first time in my life, because I'm just Muslim, but I was so happy seeing so many people who are reading the Quran and have there's no God but Allah. They're all Arab and they made it in Iraq. But after that, and the intro stopped, and I've seen a group of men standing, and there was another man sitting in front of this group, and this man, they said he's American. That man, I don't know if you know or not, his name is Nicholas Evan Berg, something like that. He's Jewish American, and they killed him in Iraq 2004. But that time, the video, I did not know they're gonna kill him. So he was sitting in front, Nicholas, that young man, sitting with the orange suit, sitting in front of this group, and this group are behind, reading the Quran, reading whatever. And I'm thinking, are they praying for him? Because most of Arabic, because if they read the Quran, I can understand some of them. But when they speak in Arabic, I don't understand what they're saying because I don't speak Arabic. I'm not Arab person, I'm African, I'm Somali person. So they were, but in my mind, I was thinking, David, seriously, and everyone who's watching, I thought they are praying and blessing that man. Because for me, Quran was so holy. I believed with my whole heart, believe it. So when they finished reading the Quran, she take big knife from his somewhere here, and he chopped his head off in front of the camera and killed the innocent young man in the name of Allah. And it broke my heart. And I started shaking, being sick and crying because they did not say they're going to kill. I did not know they're going to kill. They chop his head off like an animal. Nicholas, he rest in peace. And my God bless his family. They chop his head off in front of the camera. And I was shocked. I could not move. I started crying and I was so angry. First time in my life. And everything I believe, Islam, just crashed and died in me within a second. And that's what I realized. And I said, what they have done? What kind of God is Allah? Why his name? This man, this innocent young man has to die in the name of Allah. And I said, I was so angry to Allah, and I speak in Somali language. Normally, when you pray, you have to pray in Arabic language. You have to memorize and say. But that night, I speak to Allah, and I said, what kind of God are you? I don't want to follow you no more. I don't believe you, not believe your book. I felt he's a Satan. This God is a Satan, and his book is a Satan. What kind of people read holy book, and it's not any human being? Chop his head off. And how can I be part of that? And I said, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to follow Islam. I don't believe you, Allah. I don't believe your book. And I left Islam. I decided to be atheist from that moment. Don't follow no more, no God. And I went to bed crying, and being so shaky. So that was a nightmare. Even now, when I remember that picture, it seems like so vivid. It seems like today. It just breaks my heart again. If I ever remember what happened to Nicholas, may he rest in peace. So I left Islam because of this Jewish man whom we hate so much in Jewish people. Hate the Jewish, hate the American. He was American, he was a Jewish, but I left Islam because of him. Now I love Jewish people, I love American people, I love everyone. I even love the Muslims, but the Muslims, they need to wake up, because that is not right. That is not right. So that night I went to bed crying, and that when I had dream of Jesus, David, I never had a dream before. Even if I have, I never remember my dreams. But that night I can see clearly the dream I had. I was standing in front of my house, and it seems like heaven was open. There was a man coming from heaven, and he was shining light, bright, and that light, bright, filled the earth. The light coming through him filled the earth. The light was coming from him. You can see him. He's standing there. He's calling everyone. His voice is so loud, but so gentle. He's calling people and saying, come all of you, come and you will be safe. Come and believe in me. Come and you will be safe. He's calling people. And I looked to my right hand. I looked to my left hand. Everyone bowed down and worshiped that man, including myself. I bow down and I worship him. And in the morning when I wake up from my dream, I tell my husband what happened last night, the horrible video I've seen. I said, do you want to see? Do you want to see? They killed that man. And he said, no, I don't want to see. Why you watch that? And he wasn't even happy with me watching that video. But I did not know. They did not give me a warning. I did not know they will behead that innocent young man. But he said, no. And I said after that, I had this dream. Heaven, the man come from heaven, and everyone, all of us, all the people bow down and worship that man. Do you think that's Prophet Muhammad or Allah? I wasn't thinking anyone else. Can you believe? All my life, what I knew was Prophet Muhammad. All my life, what I knew was only Quran, being Muslim, Sunni. I didn't hear anything else. So, and even the way they say Jesus, when he come back, will come, they will say he come back as a Muslim and he will kill all the Christians and Jewish and he will take the Muslims to heaven. That's the only thing I hear from Jesus. But this time I said to my husband, do you think that's Allah or Prophet Muhammad? And my husband, said, no. I don't think that's Allah, because Allah cannot be a man. You said it was a man with the white robe. That cannot be Allah. And I said, okay, Prophet Muhammad. And he said, no, how can you worship Prophet Muhammad? Prophet Muhammad is a human being. He's our prophet, he said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said. But no, he said, I don't know who you see, but I don't think neither of them. That was, and I didn't know, but I was so happy. In a way, it seems like I'm joyful, but I don't know where to go. I want to know more about this man, but who should I ask? Because I don't even have a clue who was that man. So I remember the next night before I went to bed, all day I was so happy, but I did not pray the 5 prayer that day. Still, I'm like a little bit atheist, because last night I left Islam. Today, I don't know what I believe, because now I had this beautiful dream, but still I don't know what I believe and who I am. So the next night before I went to bed, I talked to Allah again in Somali language. And I said, Allah, I'm so sorry last night when I called you Satan. If you are that man we all worship, and you came after me last night when I denounced you and I want to become atheist, you want to save me, please reveal yourself to me. Tell me, is that you or Prophet Muhammad? Because who else I will ask? No one else will answer for me. So the next night, what happened, David? Next night I had another dream, but this time it's even more clear. My mother gave me Quran, and she told me to read the Quran for her, because she loved the Quran. She's a Quranic teacher. She teaches the kids and so on. So she told me to read, and I did not read from the Quran. I looked my mother's eye and I said, Mom, Jesus is the way, the life, the truth. No man comes to the Father except through him. David, I never hear those words in my life. I never read the Bible in my life. I never went to church in my life, but I could not control myself. My mouth, what is coming, me preaching my mom. And just doing like that. Mom, Jesus is the way, the life, the truth. No man comes to the Father except through him. Please believe Jesus. And she was so angry. And she shouted and she said, you become infidel. You are Christian. In my dream, she's telling me, you are Christian. But before she said that, she said, go and give me a glass of water. And I went to the kitchen, bring a glass of water in front of my mother. And after that, even with plate with food, and everything I touch, David, seriously, become cross shape. It is cross. Even water, I try to hide. When I'm doing with my finger like that, it goes back to cross. I'm thinking, what is going on? Tonight I'm saying, Jesus, the way, the life, the truth, my mouth coming from that. And now everything I touch, it comes cross. What is this? And my mom left the room, and I get scared on that moment. I thought, oh, they will come. She will kill me. What will happen? Because I come from big family. I have 16 siblings, brothers and sisters, like half brothers and sisters, and big relative, and a lot of my brothers and sisters, they have their own families, and you know how big it is. You know, the Muslims, Islam is growing because of birth. You know, they have 4 wives and so many children, and every man. So, and I was like thinking, all my big family will come and kill me because I could not control. So as soon as she left the room that night, guess who came back to rescue me? Same man I was worshiping the other night. This time he stood in front of me and he lifted me up. And I can see, he was just holding me like that. And I see him as he's my father. And he sees me like his daughter. He's calling me child, my daughter. Fear not, you are with me. I'm holding him like that. Seriously, my dream is like more than dream. I can see the roof of my house. Like we going just upward, the atmosphere, the Milky Way. We're just going upward. And I'm just holding him like that. And like my dad, I'm holding my daddy. And to the end we came, most beautiful place, David. Heaven is a real place. Brothers and sisters, heaven is real place, and it is most beautiful place. And when he let me just to start there, I just started jumping up and down. It's so beautiful how it looked, that place, how it looked, the buildings, the houses, the color, the flower, the street of golden. Everything is beyond our imagination. No word to explain, or there's no word to say how it looked, that place. It is more than our imagination, and it's more beautiful to explain to you. And I said, where am I? Where am I? What is this amazing place? And the Lord said, this is the place I prepare for you and everyone who believe in me. This is heaven, Shania. Welcome. And I'm just holding him, but he's pouring me so much love. He's giving me so much attention. I don't even see other people. The first night, millions of people was worshiping him in front of my house. Tonight, I'm just by myself with my heavenly daddy. I'm just calling him daddy. I'm just holding him, hugging him, and just kissing him. And he said, after that, he said, Shania, look over there. And he showed me a screen. This time we did not go that place, but he just showed me on a screen, like a television. And there was a big screen like that. And he said, look over there. And I looked, and that place was so dark. And what you see is just smoke coming. Very scary place. And I did not want to look. And I said, what kind of place is that? What is that? I did not want to watch or look. And he said, all your family are there because they don't believe in me. They're all there. And when he said that, he said, I never leave you nor forsake you. Fear not, my child, because you believe in me. You are with me. You are safe with me. As soon as he said that, my alarm wake me up, David. And I just jumped from, it seems like someone just put me down to my bed. And I jumped from my bed and I went to the internet and Google it. What does that mean? Jesus is the way, the life, the truth. Because I remember now the words I was saying to my mother. Jesus is the way, the life, the truth. And John 14:6 come. I am the way, the life, the truth. No man comes to the Father except through me. That's Jesus himself saying. When I see those words, I cry for happiness. More I read that page, more I fell in love with Jesus. And I asked another question, and I said, how he going to come back? And there was another verse. One day he come from heaven. Every eye will see. Every knee will bow down. Every mouth will confess Jesus is the Lord. And that's what I was doing the other night. Everything I put on there, I get the answer. And there was also another verse, John 3:16. Everyone knows, my brothers and sisters. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son. Whosoever believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. I never hear Allah loving me or Allah loving anyone. And now I fell in love. More I read the word of God from the internet, from Google, just seeing 3 verses. Fell in love, fell in love, fell in love. Everything will come into my heart. It seems like I had a hole. I was just broken in my heart was broken, but now it's coming back, pieces after pieces, everything coming back. And I just smiling. I'm just so happy. And I said after that, how much good deed I will do to go back to heaven. Now I know who I see was Jesus. Now I know what I see was heaven. Now I know the word of God, first time the gospel. I'm reading in front to my face, like from the internet. And I said how many good deeds I will do. Because in Islam, you have to do good deeds to earn, to go to heaven. You have to work very hard to bless Allah. And now I want to bless Jesus and go back to him. And there was Ephesians 2:8 and 9. And it says, you are saved by grace, not your own work, but it is gift of God. So no one can boast. Seriously, when I see all that, the next thing I put was Shahada. So how can I accept Jesus? I remember it was a salvation prayer they call. Little prayer. God bless the people, David, like you, who just did amazing thing, websites and out there and preaching the good news. My God bless them. So there was a little salvation prayer, and that salvation prayer I remember repeating 100 times just to make sure what I'm like now. I'm a follower of Christ because I want the gift of God. I need this loving God. Why I follow Allah who's angry with me, and I don't know where I'm going if I die as Islam. Now I find out Jesus is giving me salvation through his death and his resurrection. So I fell in love. I prayed the prayer, and when Sheena came back from work, I said, David, Sheena, you remember the man we worship, and you said that was it's not Allah or Prophet Muhammad. You are right, I said. That was not Allah. That was not Prophet Muhammad. That was Jesus Christ, and I am his follower. Seriously, from day one, I went to my husband, could not wait until he comes, and I tell him, you know why I said that? Because I've seen heaven. Heaven is real bliss, and I see the dark place. Hell also is real bliss. And people are going to heaven not because they're good deeds, not because we are better than Muslims, because of the grace of God through Jesus Christ. And people being perish because they're not receiving Jesus. They will deny and not accept it. So now I know heaven is real, hell is real, and it's only Jesus. Either you deny and go to hell, or you accept and you go to heaven. And also that was my first mission in my heart. And the second one was, I've been living in Western Europe 13 years on that time, and no one missionary came to me. No Christian come to us. No Christian come to the Somali community. We used to live in Sweden, Gothenburg. No one, no church, no one invited to church, no one sharing the gospel with me. So I said, now I have opportunity. From that day, I said, anyone who come in front of me, I don't care if they're even British people, with my little English. Hi, where you come from Somalia? I said, left Islam, now I'm Christian. I'm just, because Jesus is the way, the life, the truth. I have verse. Seriously, my ministry started, Jesus is the way, the life, the truth. I did not have a Bible. I did not go to church yet, but I started sharing the gospel to everyone who comes in front of me. But my persecution started from that day, David.
Persecution started
from day one.
Want to read a couple comments here real quick before you talk about that.
Yeah.
Oros Official says, so commenting earlier when you said that all you'd heard about Jesus is that he's going to come back and kill Christians and Jews. Oros official, our Muslim friend, said, liar. In Islam, Jesus, when he will come, he's not going to kill Christians. Yo, stop lying. Oros apparently has never read his own sources. Now, to be clear, Oros, this is an interpretation of what Muhammad said. Muhammad, your prophet, said that when Jesus returns, he's going to abolish the jizya. Right? He's going to abolish the jizya. So your commentators, in discussing what it means that he's going to abolish the jizya, what do you mean, right? Because if you're not a Jew or a Christian, the alternatives given to you were convert or die. Convert or die. For Christians and Jews, who are the people of the book, the other option was pay the jizya, acknowledge your inferior status, acknowledge that you are not obeying the final revelation, but you're sticking with your earlier revelation, and so you could pay the jizya. So the reasoning was, well, if Jesus is abolishing the jizya, it's convert or die, and you haven't converted, so you have to die. So Shania is not making this up. This is a fairly common understanding of your prophet's words. And then even earlier than that, there was Abdur Rashid Ahmed, who says, sister, Muslim people may be wrong, but there is... Now, this is interesting. He said, Muslim people may be wrong, but there is mo wrong in Islam. Now, that's it. I think he meant no wrong in Islam, but that's a Freudian slip because you put mo in there. Abdur Rashid, you said mo wrong. Yes, mo is short for Muhammad, and Muhammad was definitely wrong. But look, my Muslim friend, you're saying, there's a tendency, because you were talking about a journalist being beheaded, and when Muslims hear that, they acknowledge that it's wrong. They acknowledge that it's wrong, but they want to say that's just what Muslim people are doing. That's not Islam. No, that is Islam, right? The Quran says strike at their necks, strike at their necks. And the M.H. Shakir translation even translates that as behead them. So I mean, the early Muslim community they were beheading people left and right. Abu Bakr was burning people alive. So you can't say that this isn't Islam. It's just what Muslim people are doing. But apart from that, if you want to say there's no wrong in Islam, what do you do with allowing with your prophet having sex with a prepubescent girl, or taking the wife of his own adopted son, or telling his followers that they can have up to 4 wives when he had 9 or 11 at one time? What do you do with kissing the pagan black stone and all of these pagan rituals that are central to Islam? What do you do with all of the lying? My goodness. So yeah, there are some problems built into your religion, Abdur Rashid, and you can't just put these on Muslims, because we go right back and find them in the Muslim sources. And one of the things, Abdur Rashid, one of the things that's wrong is that according to Islam, our sister here has to die. Because Muhammad ordered his followers to kill apostates, to kill people who leave Islam. Now, there is a little bit of wiggle room, because there is a dispute among Muslim scholars as to what happens to a female apostate. All of the main schools of Islamic jurisprudence agree that a male apostate has to be killed. There's simply a question of whether you give him a waiting period to change his mind, or whether you can just kill him. As for female apostates, like our sister here, the 3 of the schools said that you kill a female apostate the same as you would a male apostate, and one of the schools said that no, you confine her, beat her, and Shias. There are Shia scholars who agree here, but the penalties would be things like every day during the 5 daily prayers, you beat them. You beat the woman during those time of prayer. If she's refusing to pray, she's refusing to be a Muslim, then you beat her. But notice, if someone were to do that, if someone were to come and say that our sister here has to die, you can't just blame. You wouldn't be blaming Muslims for that. If anything, Muslims are being better people than their religion commands them to be, because their religion commands them to kill apostates. And so, if they're not doing that, then they're being better people than their religion calls them. So don't point a finger. So Abdul Rashid, don't point a finger at Muslims and say, no, those are just bad Muslims who are doing these violent things. The Muslims are being better than their revelations. Otherwise, they'd be killing far more people if they were actually following their religion. So this leads into what you were saying. You have Muslims in place in parts of the world that would still want to carry out Muhammad's penalty to kill someone who leaves Islam, but you have a kind of spectrum. Lots of families will disown anyone who converts to Islam. I've heard from lots of converts who said, when I told my family that I'd become a Christian, they said they told me don't come back here until you're a Muslim again. And they said they'll say things like, that's the last time I saw my mother and father. And then you have sort of nicer families than that, like Nabil's family, where the family will try to convert the person back. So Nabil's dad spent after Nabil became a Christian, Nabil's dad spent like a year taking him to Muslim scholars who were supposed to convert him back to Islam and so on. But I'm assuming you're going to talk to us about your family's reaction here? When you're talking about persecution, you're talking about persecution from your family, or?
Yeah, from my family. But before I go there, the Somalis always say when Jesus come back, he will come back as a Muslim. Yeah. That's why he will kill Christian and Jewish, and also break the cross. The cross. And after that, and he will pigs. Be like and he will have the Quran, and he will follow Muhammad. So they make him like a Muslim. When he come back, he will come back as a Muslim. That's what they teach you. But anyway, I don't want to debate with this guy. I just move on. So what happened was, I just tell my husband, and I tell my family, and tell my friends, and call everyone. And I said, now I have my heart was like filled with a passion for my family. Now I know the truth. I know the truth. I know the way. I know, and that's Jesus. That's not Muhammad. And what I know is heaven is real place, hell is real place, and everyone who believes in Jesus will have everlasting life. So I want my family to repent and to follow Jesus. I want my husband to repent and come to Jesus, and all to go to heaven, but also not going to heaven, but have even relationship here, because in Islam, Allah, he's not our father. He's far away, and you are his slave, and you do your best you can to please him. And he's far away from you. But in Christianity, we have relationship with our Heavenly Father. Seriously, Holy Spirit just put my heart, the love of my family, and even loving more than my life. Because I was shocked how my family, whom I love, and we used to be like that, become quickly my enemy. I could not believe it. Everyone has changed their face. They started threatening me straight away. In the beginning, they thought maybe I'm like a crazy or something. They did not start like day 1 or day 2. But when they talked to my husband, and he said, she's Christian, she's still saying she's following Jesus, they started like, no, this is wrong. You have to come back. You have to come back. Tell her. And because he was a Muslim, and my husband, he's a very lovely man. I love my husband so much, and he loves me so much. But they tried to come between me and my husband, And after that, my family went to the mosque, talked to the imams, what they're going to do with me. Because now I'm infidel. I'm the first generation of my family, first person who received Jesus now. So I'm not under Sharia country or Sharia law, but I'm like a Western living in the UK. And but you know what they did? They went to the mosque, talked to them, and after that they had a meeting. And when they had the meeting, they called my husband, and they said they had made the decision. Because in the beginning it was like take her back. But a few days later they said no. If she's still Christian, we have 2 options. And the 2 options they give my husband was either take my children away and leave, because he's not my husband no more. Now I'm infidel. Or to kill me. That's what they said. My family said that. And who gave that news to my husband? My own mom is the one who's delivered the message to my husband. It crushed my heart. I could not believe my beloved mom, and my family, whom I love with my whole heart, more than my life. Now they are after me. They started chasing me. They started threatening me. They started telling me, "Cursed to be to you. You will die. You do this. You do that." And my husband, they give him that two options, but he did not do neither of that. But he started attacking Christianity. He never been a violent person. He never threatened me to kill me or to do that. But he used to say, "You need to come back to Islam." He was trying to take me back one way or other, but mostly like a nice way. And he used to say, "Christian is corrupted, Bible is this, Bible is that." But he was just trying to take me back. But my mom, from that moment, when she find out he's still living with me and he's still calling himself Muslim, she called one day and I answered for her. And she said, "You are not my daughter anymore. You die from me." Imagine hearing from your own mom, whom my mom I love to death, still now love her. She said, "You die from me." And she said, "If I see you, I will kill you with my own hand." That's what she said. And that was the last time I hear my mom. And that was 16 years ago. That was the last time I hear my mother. She just gone. My family gone. Everyone disowned me like I'm death. I'm not just alive no more. I'm not their daughter no more because I left Islam and the Quran.
Now, Shania, I just wanted to ask, was your how close was your family before that? Like, did
so
you have,
close.
Very close.
So close, very close relationship, very lovely family. They used to love me. My mom used to love me. My brothers and sisters, everyone used to love me. And Muslims, they are like more involved to your life. Even me, adult, having children, my own kids and my own husband, still like family. Still, they can still control you. My business is their business. Wherever is happening in my life, they know better. And also, if they need anything, you have to help you. You need to support. It is like a system bank for you. You have to help them. They will help you. And we are so close. Talking to my brothers, my sisters every day, very close. But quickly, I could not believe they changed quickly, and I was shocked and crying and asking the Lord why they hate me, why everyone hates me. I was even thinking, am I adopted? Are they not my own family, blood and flesh? But at that time when I was crying, "Mom, please don't go, please don't go. Are you not my mom? What's going on? Why? How can you say that? Your own child. What kind of mother wishing that?" And she said, "You can come back only if you accept Muhammad. You have to say Shahada, repent, come back to Allah, that you will be my daughter and we will accept you. Otherwise, you death from us and we will kill you." And the Lord said, "It's not you they hate, pray for them." I pray for my family, but seriously, first 2 years of my life, I was crying. But on my defense, thanks to you, David, thanks to you and those people, and Sam Shamoun, and Jesus or Muhammad, save my life. Because when they attack me, now I have my husband in home, 4 years, he's still Muslim. Every day, that 4 years was hell on our marriage time. Because I'm thinking every day, is he going to leave me? Is he going to take my children away? I did not care if he killed me, seriously. Some people, they said, how can you sleep someone in his bed, Muslim man, who all the imams and the mosque and everyone and your family are telling him to kill. And every day, it seems like I married another man. He was also so jealous. He didn't want me to say the name of Jesus. Yeah? And every day he will attack and he will say something bad about the Bible being corrupted, this and that, and Christianity is bad, and everything is like a Hollywood. Look what they're doing, drinking and that. And my defense was, thank God the day I met you, David, you become my teacher. You saved me, because every day when he debate with me, I used to give you videos, you and Sam. and even sent many emails to you guys, and Pastor Joseph, I remember, sent many times emails and saying, please pray for my husband. But I used to give that. And after that, started going to Paltalk, and even Sam Shamoun has Paltalk, his room. I used to go his room, and also Christian Prince, who had a room, and I'm just studying every day. Now I did not know anything. I did not have any idea. You know, the Muslims, the best kept secret, it is their own Quran and their own Hadith. If they knew what it says, I think no Muslim will stay no more. If people know in their own language, no one will stay Islam. That's what I believe. Because now I find out everything from you, David. You and Sam, and every night when you had that, Jesus or Muhammad, you will do comparisons. And I will give. I will write it down.
Oh, I just want to tell people, because there are some people who know us from YouTube but don't know. Years ago, Sam Shamoun and I used to do and Pastor Joseph used to do a show on ABN, which became the Trinity channel, called Jesus or Muhammad, and it was a live call-in. It was a live call-in show, so Muslims could call in. And when we started, there were Muslim scholars, Muslim sheikhs would call in, and eventually the sheikhs stopped calling in, and but you would still have regular Muslims calling in on the show, and we would have live discussions, live debates, and so on. So that's what Shania is talking about, that program there, and you can still find a lot of those videos and clips online.
Yeah, that Jesus or Muhammad, everyone was, I thought everyone is like Arab people, like Pastor Joseph, and also because he was Arabic speaker, and also Sam, I thought he's Arab, but I was like in shock when I see you like a white American man who has so much knowledge of Islam, and I just fell in love everything you say. You become my teacher. I was just following you every day. Even after that, after the program ended, when you had the debates, I used to watch, I used to write it down, everything. I send you so many emails, so many in Facebook, inbox you, because you're so busy, man. I don't blame you, but you become my savior is Jesus, but also you save me.
Shania is referring to the fact that I usually don't respond to messages. I was telling her beforehand. Sometimes I'll go weeks without checking my emails. Sometimes I'll go a week or 10 days without even without carrying my phone around. So I'm pretty much the worst person on the planet as far as responding to messages. Matter of fact, I mentioned that in a video earlier that several years ago, Nabil said, because I was telling him, I was saying, I just ignore it because it freaks me out. It's getting hundreds of messages a day. And he said that's why you're supposed to hire an assistant, and then they go through and find all the ones you need to respond to, and then the ones you don't need to respond to, they can leave those out. Anyway, I've never actually followed that advice, but at some point I will. But anyway, you were sending messages and watching the videos, watching the programs and so on.
Watching you, seriously, it was school for me. You came right time, right place, right everything, because you used to also talk about Trinity. Yes, Sam Shamoun, he liked to talk more about Trinity. And I'm new believer, new baby Christian. I started going to church, but the church don't teach you about Muhammad or Jesus. They're not going to teach you all these things. But that was like a crash course, I was shocked. And I said, wow, my family is a lovely family, but they are also blind following this book. Now I know everything, all the hatred, all the killing, all these threats did not come from my own family. Yeah, they're also victim. All the Muslims are victim. Like I'm victim for them, they are also victim for the Quran and the Hadith. Because which mom will disown her daughter? Which mom will say their own daughter, I will kill you? Which mom will say, take the children and leave or kill their own child? Because they are so blinded with the book. So now my eye will open, David. You are the one who opened my eyes, seriously. And every day when Sheila start debating and start attacking the Bible, because now I have some knowledge, some educational from David and Sam, and I just give. And I say, go and see this. Go and I say, this man, look, he's a white American man, but he's so clever. He study. And these people, they are Arab speaking, they speak Arabic. They know the Quran better than both of us, But the imams and the Muslims, they don't teach you this. They're hiding you. Please go and study. And he will go and he will say, okay, let me have my Quran. Let me show me the verse. What number? Which number? And I will say, from you guys, yeah, from David and Sam, because I already have that. I give him. And he will check and he say, oh, yeah, it says, actually, it is right. But after that, he will say, okay, but they are not Muslim. I don't listen to them. He will just be quiet. But you saved me, guys, because that 4 years, all the attack I was getting, imagine me being new believer, baby Christian, and just studying the Bible now, and having this argument and debate from my husband now, trying to take me back to Islam. And he's making Islam beautiful. And he's making Christianity so bad. But now I have evidence. I'm showing the true face of Islam. What they have, the Muslims have lied for us many, many years. And billions of Muslims, they don't speak Arabic. And I will say, look, Brother Joseph and Sam, they speak Arabic. They know the Quran. They read it. Look, David Wood, who's America, he studied. You go and study. You go and do this. And he will go. But all his debate, I used to win over because I had a receipt. Thanks to you, David. I just want to say thank you so much. You opened my eyes, even me, and my belief, even my Christian life in the beginning. I learned a lot about Trinity. You guys been talk about a lot about Trinity. So I study under you. You become my teachers, you and Sam, and I fell in love with the Bible. And also, you opened my eyes. It's something on me come off, and now I know the reason why my Muslim family disown me and want to kill me because of that. But I did not stop. I started preaching the word of God. Anyone I met on the street. And Pal Talk, we started sharing my faith with the Somali Muslims. And one by one, God has saved them. But that time, I could not show my face on the world, on the Somali community, because I knew already I had a consequence from my family already disowned me and threatened me. And want to kill me. They're after me. So I was thinking, the Somali community, one by one, we will share. But Pal Talk, you use a nickname. You are not your own name. You are not showing your face. But 2015, that's the time God said, now is the time. Now is the time to show your face. And the Lord said, I'm building my church among the Somalis, and no one can stop. And I was thinking, I went to conference, and the conference, we started with only 3 people, 3 Somali believers in Europe. And we've been meeting every year, 10 more come, 20 more come. And 2015, actually, came 120. 120. And everyone I speak to received Jesus. That was a gift of God. It's not me saving people. It is the Lord. And with my little knowledge, I was studying also fast, quick crash course with you guys, with you, David and Sam, every day. And that for 4 years, many people getting saved, not my husband. And I used to pray for my husband. I say, Lord Jesus, save my husband. But I don't want Shino to be safe and to stay home. I want him to join with me so we can reach millions of people, millions in Somalia, and change our people and change that Islam, because Islam is not the answer. Only Jesus can save people. So and I was doing that, and I was studying under you and sharing with my faith everyone, and praise God. 4 years later, Shino gave up, and the Lord saved him through reading the Word of God. But that 4 years, every day, he had video after video from you, David and Sam. God bless you. And also, I remember, David, when you used to go, you and Nabil used to go to festival. Mm-hmm. I used to watch that, the videos about the festivals. And I remember one time you used to talk about a young girl. Her name is Rifqa Berry, and she became Christian, and her family want to kill. I knew her pain. I knew what she was going through, because I'm older than her, but I was going through the same. Everything she said was happening to me. So I believed everything, and I was just following that time. Yeah.
And
it's
It's something you see very, very frequently, like way back in the day,
Yeah.
after Nabil became a Christian.
Yes.
He said that he saw his dad cry for the first time ever. He'd never seen his dad cry before until he became a Christian. And he saw his dad cry, and his dad said, "I feel like my spine has been ripped out of me." And
Yeah.
so it's a
Yeah.
it's a lot of pain for the families, and again
Mm.
they deal with this in different ways. Some of them try to win the person back to Islam, and others
Yeah.
disown them.
Yeah.
Others threaten to kill them,
Yeah.
and so on. But
Mm.
it's never a nice picture. It's always something bad.
No, it is very, very, very bad. And also, and I think for them as well, they also, from the community, they will be discriminated, you know. They will, the community, the Muslim community or the Ummah, you know, they will say, look, your daughter, what she's doing. Look, your son, he left Islam. And also for us, we did not only left Islam, but we start also calling the Muslims, come to Jesus. You know, we've been just sharing our faith. So like I said, 2015, I said now is the time to share to the world my real name, Shania Abdullahi Gabo, and also show my face and just come. Why I have to hide and everything do under, you know, nicknames in Paltalk. And I said to the brothers and sisters, I said, the Lord is saying now he's building his church. The Somali people, they always say, oh, you are not Somali. Maybe you are Kenyan. Maybe you are Ethiopian. You are not Somali. And if you are Somali, show your face. Why you not showing your real face? Why you not saying your real name? Why you cannot come out? And we could not do. But that day I said, I will do that. I will go in front of the camera and I will tell the world I'm Somali Christian. Left Islam, now follower of Christ. And I asked brothers and sisters, we were 120. My husband said, yes, I will follow you, Shania. I will do it with you. And 10 more people said yes. So 12 of us said yes and come out and share our face and our names, and we are Somali Christians. And that video went viral.
Wow.
So much shook whole country. The Somali imams, they were so shocked. They even show our faces and the television, national television in Somalia, Mogadishu. And also after that, the imams went to the court and they said they had a 1 week about talking about what they're going to do, because we are 12 Somali people singing and saying, hallelujah, Jesus is our Lord and Savior. We are Somali Christian. And that video they made on even BBC, Al Jazeera, like all of that, all the Muslim channels. They just translate different language. They show the world. And the imams went to the court and they had all the elderly and the imams went to the court. 1 week later, they said, we made the decision. And they showed that on the national television. And we have even that dubbed in some English in our Somali Christian TV playlist. If you go fatwa in Somali Christians. And they said, anyone who see them, either kill them or find out where they live. So now, David, not only I'm not only Christian, but now I know Islam is the one who wants to kill us. I know now that innocent man, Nicholas, died because in the name of Allah, they kill him. And now they want to kill me. And now they want to kill other Christians, Somali Christians. But we did not stop from that on, 2015 until now. We start, my husband and I, sharing our faith in the camera, doing some teachings. And now we have Somali Christian TV, first time from last year. This is actually historical. There is no Somali Christian TV in this earth, you know. So many Somalis, even the people Somali in Minneapolis, Somali Muslims, they have their own channels. In the UK, they have their own channel. You know, they have so many channels. They don't watch British or American channels. They have their own Somali channels. But there is no Somali Christian channel, you know. And this God has given me from day one, when I just going and sharing. One time, my mother even find out I was in Paltalk and sharing, and call another time angry and telling me, stop what you're doing. Why you have to make other people infidels like you? Why you taking them astray or whatever? You just people are leaving Islam because of you. You have to stop. And I said, Mom, don't be surprised. One day you will see me on Somali Christian TV, and we will come in your living room and you will watch. And she was cursing and being angry, and again left and threatening me and saying, you are not my daughter, just go away and you do whatever. But anyway, and this television actually is from Ethiopia, broadcast 3 days per week. 3 days per week, our program being broadcast from last year. And it is historical. It never happened before. It's first time in history. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Somali Christian TV. So our program is being broadcast to Somalia, so even Somaliland, Ethiopia, Kenya, all that. And there's millions of Somali living. Somalis are everywhere, even in America, Minneapolis. So many Somali are there. So many Somali are in the UK. So now people are calling us our live streams. They are fed up with Islam. They're hearing the good news first time in Somali language. They're hearing the teachings of you, David, because we did it dubbing in your videos, and they are shocked. Now when you said the Quran is not perfectly. Like the last video, we even dubbed that in Somali language. So people are shocked. They're listening. They wanna see what is going on in their own eye and in their own language, because our people speak Somali. So if we don't reach them, who can reach them? So that's what we're doing, and hopefully we will do the project Empire, God willing, in Somali language, God willing, and more people will come to faith, because your videos has opened my eyes, my husband's eye, and millions Muslims' eye, and people will leave Islam. David and all the others who's serving with you, with Sam and all the others, now Al-Fadi and even Rob Christian. Mm-hmm. Rob Christian, God bless him. We love him. And also Christian Brice. I have his book called The Deception of Allah. Mm-hmm. I remember buying that and giving to my husband that time, mm-hmm. and just read this book. So you guys are opening Muslims' eye. And the Muslims, if they say, or some Christians come to you and say, oh, you are not nice to the Muslims. Actually, you are nice to them, because you exposing all the lie they have. You exposing what they have kept, all the secrets the imams are keeping from Islam. You know our imams, what they do, the Muslims. They come in front of the camera and they talk about only women. Oh, so and so don't have hijab, Allah will punish them. So and so will have this and that, Allah will punish them. They don't talk about all the bad things in the Quran and the Hadith. They don't open people's eye. They just brainwashing, and they just want to push down to the people. And even now, our kids, young Somali children being raped by teachers. No imam will come out and say, stop the other imam. They don't stop. They don't stop, but they just attack the Christians or apologistic like you, and they will say what they're doing, what you're doing, they think it is bad, but it's not bad. It is good, and we love you so much, and we say, please continue what you're doing, and we support you, and we are doing together. We're reaching millions. Now Somalis, seriously, every day people are leaving Islam. Many people, they cannot come to the live stream, but even now, last 2-3 weeks, we had maybe 7 Somali Christians who come out and saying, we are Somali Christian, we left Islam. So thank God for that. Mm-hmm. People are now wake up, and just their eyes is open, and we love you. Yeah, well done, done. What you're doing.
It's a similar pattern. So years ago, Zachariah Boutra started doing broadcasts in Arabic, where he's going through the Muslim sources and exposing things about Muhammad, and telling people about what Jesus said and so on. And after several years, Al Qaeda had to put a $60 million hit out on him because so many people were leaving Islam. And so what we're seeing now is we're seeing the same thing, but in other languages. So now we've got
language.
Now we've got
Somalis.
We've got you in Somalia.
So David, I need to add even the fatwa. They made another fatwa, 2017. They said you have to stop these people. People are leaving, not only becoming Christian, but many are leaving and becoming atheists. Somali nowadays, and Somalis now the imams said, oh, we cannot call ourselves 100% Muslim no more. 25% every year Muslims are leaving Islam. And I believe even more are leaving and more will leave. Because when they know the truth will set them free. That's what Jesus said. When you know the truth will set you free. And the truth is only Jesus. It's not Muhammad or Allah. It's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're gonna see tons of people leave Islam.
That's what we want to see.
Couple quick comments here. Some people are saying, so Sharon here said in the super chat, "This has been one of your best, David. Thank you." And I think what she means is that I didn't do much talking. And we have there were a bunch of people giving similar comments. Jayola here Monday says, "This is the best work of David Wood. I was crying when she was giving her testimony. Thank you, David." Now look, he's thanking me and saying this is my best work when I was just sitting here and letting you talk. So I think they're telling me I need to shut up more during the programs and let other people talk.
No, David, I'm witnessing because I'm a student. I admire you, admire people like you, admire Sam, admire all of you, like Christian Prince, Rob Christian, all of you, Al-Fadi. My God bless Sister Hatun. She's a brave woman.
She's a warrior.
Yeah, I've seen from your channel and other channels interviewing her and fell in love with her beautiful heart. My God bless her. So people like you, that's what we need. We need each other, different language. We have to do this. We have to expose Islam. I think it is the end of Islam. They have to admit this cannot be forever and ever.
It's gonna, they're facing problems. There are holes in the narrative, as Sheikh Yasser Qadi says, and now Muslims are finding out about it. I did want to sort of tie all this together. In that you're talking about having to deal with the reaction of your family and at first the reaction of your husband to you becoming a Christian. I've been telling people for years the main reason that I still focus on dealing with Islam right now is that I learned years ago that Muslims make really awesome Christians. And at first when I was studying Islam at first, I was studying Islam for one reason. That was my best friend was a Muslim. That was it. If he'd been a Buddhist, I would have been studying Buddhism. If he'd been Hindu, I'd have been studying Hinduism. That was it. So once he became a Christian, I thought, cool, I'm done with Islam. And it was watching the stand that he took for Jesus Christ after that I realized, wait a minute. This guy's he's a really awesome Christian, and he's having a huge impact here. And took a little while, but I figured it out. You see, here's the thing. Some of the things that are really bad about Islam turn out to be good, right? Good for the gospel. What I mean here is Muslims are taught all their lives that saying Jesus is Lord will get them sent to hell. And they understand that they may have to give up their families, or that their families may kill them, or that their families are going to abandon them, or things like that. So they may have to give up their families. And they understand that if anyone actually ever decides to do what Muhammad said, the penalty for leaving Islam is death. So, we Christians, we go out and we preach the good news. We preach the good news. We call it the good news, the gospel. When a Muslim hears the good news, what they're hearing is, so you want me to believe this thing that will force my family to leave me and maybe get me killed and definitely get me sent to hell. That's your good news? Because that sounds like the worst news anyone ever told anyone ever. So Islam puts all of these obstacles and hindrances in front of people that keep them from seriously considering the gospel. Because I mean, think, I'm saying this because Shania, lots of people in the West, I became a Christian. It wasn't most people in my family didn't care one way or another. It doesn't make, as long as I was not doing some of the horrible things I used to do, it's fine. But it's not a big deal. It is a big deal in Islam. And so a lot of people in the West don't have that experience of having to decide between your family and Jesus, or having to decide between getting killed with it, or
Yeah.
not getting killed.
Not
They don't have that experience. But so these are the things they're bad about Islam, but
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
good as well, because here's the thing: when a Muslim says, you know what,
Yeah.
I've been told all my life that this will get me sent to hell, and I may have to give up my family, and this could get me killed, but you know what? I want to know Jesus anyway. That's
Yeah.
someone who will lay down his life or her life for the
Amen.
gospel if necessary. And so that's why
Yeah.
Muslims make really awesome Christians. And of those Muslims who become Christians, some of them actually want to go out and share it with their people. And so Shania and her husband are
Right.
among those who
Both of us.
want to take the message to their people.
Yeah.
I'm pointing this out because, as we already pointed out, ladies and gentlemen, there's a link to their channel. So if you're Somali, if you're Somali Muslim and you want to see what they've got to say, then the link to their channel is in the description box. But as we pointed out earlier, they do live streams in English on Friday.
Yep.
So subscribe to the channel and check out those live streams on Friday as well. And I put a link to their Patreon page. I started a Patreon recently to support their work. So I encourage everyone, ladies and gentlemen, these are the people you have to watch out for. You have to be watching for people like Shania. And what I mean there is, she pointed out that she lived in the West for more than a decade. Sweden and the UK, no one bothered to share the gospel with her.
Yeah.
You've got a place like Somalia, which they consider to be 100%, but even if it's 99.8, it's close to 100% Muslim, and they're bringing the gospel to Somali Muslims where we can't, right? Sometimes a Somali Muslim who understands English could be watching us, but they really need people going in their language, sharing that with them. So I encourage everyone, before you leave, even if you're supporting me as a channel member or me on Patreon or something like that, if you want to just stop supporting me and actually go to their Patreon page right there, I encourage you to do that, to support this work, because guys, I mean, this is groundbreaking. Here we have 14 centuries.
Thank you so much.
For 14 centuries, Muslim leaders have been able to keep their people insulated and isolated from hearing a serious presentation of the gospel and from hearing criticisms of Islam for 14 centuries. And all of a sudden we get down to our time. And I view this as from God. All of a sudden we get down to our time. And it's like God is saying, all right, I'm going to give you all of the sources, all of the materials, everything you need, and I'm going to give you the technology to where now you can reach Muslims in every country on the world, everywhere that has an internet connection, and there are going to be Muslims among you. So how much more obvious does God need to make it that this is the generation that gets to really confront Islam and share the gospel with Muslims? And so when you see people like Shania and Shino sharing the gospel with a country that is 99.8% Muslim, and they're bringing the gospel to them in their own language and refuting Islam. Guys, if you want to support someone like Shania and Shino here. So again, the link to their Patreon is in the description box. Click on that and sign up. And I just have to point out, several people are viciously attacking me. They're all agreeing with you, saying, David, I've sent you so many emails, you never respond.
Sorry about it.
And
I'm so sorry, David.
A couple people say, wow, I'm honored that David would actually respond to my email, because occasionally I do. But Dan Wolf here says, David, I have 10,000 emails, so I win. So he's pointing out that he has 10,000 emails that he has not responded to. Dan, I got to pull rank on you here. I'm looking at my email right now. I have 136,927 unread emails, and that's in one of my 3 email accounts. So that's I was showing Nabil that, and that's why he said you need to get an assistant before you have a heart attack.
I think you need someone who voluntarily. I wish I have more time and can help you with that, David. Just be your assistant. But David, thank you so much. I want to add, even, when you become Christian and leave Islam, you're not only losing your family, you will lose whole country, you know. Yep. Even now where we live, the Somalis who live in the city where we live, they disown us because we are Christian. My husband and I disown us. Even he used to help them with full football just freely, because he used to play football, and he was like a referee in Sweden. And he started helping the young people here, the community. When they find out, they said, you are not part of our community. Disowning, can you believe you own people, your own community? We are just Somalis together, yeah? And they just disown you and close their doors from you. My friend, one of my best friend, actually, she wanna still be with be friend with me. And after that, she called me a few times. I called her a few times. And after that, she said, Shania, that was 15, 16 years ago when I first got saved. And she said, Shania, I cannot be your friend anymore. And I said, what is happening? And she said, I went to the mosque. I asked the imams, my best friend become a Christian. What should I do? And they said, you cannot be friend with her. And after that, I find out from you guys, when you said you cannot be Christian, friend with Christian and Jewish. That's the verse from the Quran, you know. I didn't know in the beginning. I was shocked what's happening. But everyone will disown you. It is costly, you know, to follow Jesus. It's not free. But Jesus says, take your cross and follow me. We have to deny ourselves. Deny our children, deny our family. Why? Because our God has to be number one. You have to love your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and strength. He is the one who's giving the life we have. And our lives belong to Jesus, either on this earth or after the other earth, but in heaven, belong to Jesus. And he said, do not be scared. Those who can kill the flesh, but they cannot kill my soul. So I never been friend. But it's so costly when all your community disown you, all your family disown you, all your country disown you. But thank God now, God has given to us brothers and sisters like you and my church, lovely church, and also Somali Christian. Now the community is growing, and also we have Somali atheists, and one of my best friend seriously become Christian many years ago. I shared with her, and now she's doing even amazing thing like you, David. She started a little bit with that and get a lot of attack. But one day we will talk about that and share with you. But seriously, it's not easy to say I left Islam and I still here be with friend with them. We love them. We want to be with them, but they will disown you. They will shut their doors because they don't want their children to see as a Christian, a Somali woman, Christian. My husband and I, the Lord saved my husband 4 years later. He's a man of God. We study with theology and leadership through our church. We have beautiful church. We have people of God who's supporting and loving and praying for us. And now we have a community online like you, David. And I'm so glad to be connected with you and Sam after many, many years being admiring and being big fan of you and loving you and just following you everywhere you go. Now, at least you know I existed. Before you didn't know, but you did a good job, and the Lord bless you. What you're doing, please keep doing that. Because I remember the young man who accepted Christ on Christian Prince, his channel, 2 days ago, 3 days, maybe last week or so. All the people who on the chat, because he said his mom, he lives in America, but he said his mom and dad, they don't speak very well English. Of course, I don't speak as well very well English, but he said they know only a little bit of English. And everyone was pointing, you go to Somali Christian TV. You go to just show your mom and dad, because we are here. Why we're doing English even? We want the young children, young English speaking Somalis, to when they see us, to go to their mom and dad and say, Mom, I've seen a woman like you who is speaking about Jesus in Somali language. Come and see, or English language. So in that way, we want to reach more. And together we will reach, and the Somali nation will open their eyes in big way, because now even we started dubbing Al-Fadi about Trinity. We want to do that. We're doing a lot of new videos, all these things, because they think Islam, the Quran and everything being perfectly, and that's not the case. We see all the flaws, and we want to expose that, and we want to show the world this is not the book of God, because what kind of God wanted people being beheaded in his name? The Bible says only thief, Satan, comes to kill and to destroy. More I read the Bible and more I read the Quran, more I see Satan. Allah, I see him like a Satan because he want blood, my blood of people who left Islam. And David, you said there was a video you had way back and about persecution, open doors. Somalia being all the time, many years now, is third place, but always been second place to be Christian. You cannot be Christian and live in Somalia. They will kill you on the spot. They kill so many Somalis. Some of them poisoned, their family poisoned them. Some of them shot to death. There was elderly man, he was carrying Bible, they find him, kill him on the spot, shot him with the Al-Shabaab. And the other one, they take a big knife and kill him. I don't watch all that nightmares because it's enough for me what ISIS has done. Nicholas, my God bless his soul, Nicholas, the American Jewish man, even, yeah. I don't know, David. Did you hear that man, Nicholas? They killed 2004 in Iraq.
Yeah, I remember that.
Did you know? Mm-hmm. You remember him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before we close up here, Fred Sanford said, "Please send my love to Sister Shania and Brother Shino. When will Brother Shino be on your channel?" So that's tomorrow. Same time, same channel. We're going to have Brother Shino sharing his story. So he's going to give going to give us his view on all of this and share his testimony. And we did have a request. Sister, before we close out, for you to give a gospel message for any Somalis who tuned in Somali. So what does the gospel sound like in Somali?
Okay, I will say in Somali in John 3:16. But before I say that, I want to say thank you, all of you who are here, especially my friends, Fred Stanford. We love him so much, and we love him, and all the others who knew us and supporting and following, and all you viewers, David, we love them because they love you. That's why we love them as well. Okay, let me say in Somali language. What should I say in Somali language? Should I pray in Somali language or should I say John 3:16 in Somali language? What do you want to say?
Your choice. Your choice.
Okay, let me pray in Somali language. rabbiyo ilaahayo waxaan ku horkeenayaa qof kasta oo codkayga maqlo, qof kasta oo Soomaali ah. rabbiyo waxaan kaa baryaa inaad qalbiyada dadka furtid. rabbiyo waxaan kaa baryaa injiilka runta inay helaan, jacaylka inay jidka iyo runtii jannada adiga ah. rabbiyo badbaadi ummadaada, badbaadi Soomaalida, badbaadi qof kasta oo meeshan joogo. rabbiyo barakee channelkan, maxay ahayd David Wood iyo maxay ahayd groupka dhan oo hawshan qabanaya. rabbiyo inaa barakaysidaan kaa baryana. rabbiyo nimcadaada inaa ka buuxiso qof kasta oo codkayga maqlo oo meeshan joogo inaa barakaysid. Soomaalida codkayga maqasho rabbiyo waxaan kaa baryaa inaan jecelnahay inaa u muujisid, adna jecelkaaga u muujisid oo soo badbaadis beenta iyo xargaha lagu xirxiro ka fur. rabbiyo intaas waxaan ku weydiisanaa magaca Rabbi Ciise Masiix. Amen. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And so special thanks to Somali Christian TV, our sister Shania, joining us, sharing her story. Again, link to their channel, Somali Christian TV, and their Patreon page, if you'd like to support, are in the description box. All right.
Yeah.
Talk to you again later, sister, and talk to Shino tomorrow, and we'll see you all again.
Thank you for having me. May God bless you all. Thank you.